Imagine a racer who not only has been participating in motorcycle races for many years, but also builds his motorcycles entirely with his own hands. Not on a team of engineers, not in a factory, not in a huge motorhome, but in a small garage, where the smell of metal mixes with the aroma of Sangiovese and sparks from the grinder with ideas that were years ahead of Japanese corporations. A man who starts alongside world champions on multi-million-dollar machines and manages to compete with them on equal terms, and once almost outplayed them all thanks to a self-made titanium magnesium marvel, a motorcycle that is the stuff of legends. They call it the Caliber 22 for its number and the precision with which it hit the hearts of everyone who saw its race in 1989. He's the only racer in the world who competes exclusively on motorcycles of his own making. A man who can say, "I don't sell my motorcycles." It's like selling a child. Today we will peek into the world of Gabriele Gnani, and believe me, you will see what is usually hidden under the fairings, a real mechanical laboratory, living, handmade, lightning fast, and brilliant. There are names that ring out loud, like the roar of 100 horsepower, and there are quiet, almost unnoticeable ones, but it is often these that belong to true geniuses. Gabriele Gnani was born in 1964 in Italy, in the Romagna region, a land of simple people, good food, and stubborn character. As it sometimes happens, his path into the world of speed began not with victories, not with generous sponsors, not with factory contracts, but with a lack of choice. He simply had nothing to ride. When in 1983 he started in the Italian championship in the 50 class, he quickly realized there would be no real results as long as he depended on someone else's machinery. It either breaks down, or it doesn't run, or just can't keep up the pace. Then an idea appeared, a crazy, honest, direct one. What if I build it all myself? And he started drafting. 4 months. Pencils, rulers, paper. He made the first parts himself, buying only the rims and shock absorbers. Everything else he did himself, the frame, the engine, the small parts, down to the unconventional solutions and the fasteners. Thus, the first Gnani motorcycle was born. But that was only the beginning. The next machine was a real breakthrough. He replaced aluminum with titanium and magnesium, bonded with aviation adhesives, technologies that Japanese companies would only adopt a few years later. Gnani wasn't just building a motorcycle, he was creating a new approach. A single man did what an entire engineering department usually does. Gabriele gained his first professional fame in the late 80s. In 88, he started in the World Championship in the 80 cubic centimeter class on a motorcycle of his own assembly. No one took him seriously. A privateer, a loner, a master from a garage. But he scored 36 points and became 10th in the world. A year later, he rose to 5th position and did the impossible. In 89, he won a podium at the nation's Grand Prix in Misano. And it was not a marvel of technology. It was a marvel of a man, because this man built not just the engine, but everything else. He cast the parts, designed the frame, fitted the components, tested materials, shapes, gears, valves, exhaust, intakes, and then he'd get on that motorcycle and ride for victory. He was all the developers in one, all the mechanics himself, and the pilot too. He did the work that dozens of specialists do at large factories. And while the factory teams arrived with engineers, trucks, logistics, comfort, and budgets, Gabriele came to the races in a van, sometimes alone or with a couple of friends. The comparison seems so absurd that they said about him, "Don't shoot at the Red Cross." That's how small and neutral he seemed against the backdrop of the Spanish and Japanese machinery of the championship. But small doesn't mean weak. Here's the moment that took your breath away back then. The nation's Grand Prix, 80 class. The favorite, Jorge Aspar Martinez on a derby, a multiple world champion, factory team, technology, budgets. And fourth on the grid, Gabriele Gnani on his made motorcycle. A battle from the very first meters, turn after turn. The commentators couldn't believe their eyes. A privateer from Romagna challenged the world champion. And if not for one bad lap where he lost pace, he might have won. A defeat by only 4 seconds. For a privateer racing a bike from his garage, this was a victory of heart, mind, and hard work. After that race, they called him the 22 caliber bullet for his number and for how he shattered the stereotypes about who could win. Everyone who ever saw him work in the paddock noted one thing: he's always calm, never shouts, never fusses, never gets nervous. His eyes are only on the motorcycle. His hands know what to do. In his mind, thousands of hours of development form a clear system. He solves any problem, helps other racers, shares advice. That's a respect you can't buy. You can only earn it. Now, the main event. The Gnani 125, the pinnacle of his work, the quintessence of 30 years of experience, a machine that can be displayed as an example of personal genius. This is not a motorcycle, it's a laboratory, a mobile scientific project where every detail is the result of research, calculations, trial and error. Ultralight wheels and discs, he manually removed excess metal for the perfect balance of weight and strength. A dry clutch and an external water pump. The electric drive of the pump reduces power loss. Every horsepower goes into acceleration. Carbon everywhere possible. The instrument panel, the fork cap, a huge diameter air intake. This intake literally demonstrates the engine's insatiability. It needs air like a wild beast. The mechanics are exposed. A gearbox with a cross shifter, an external drive mechanism, an unconventional solution for modern motorcycles, but it provides swift and sharp gear changes. A classic gearbox uses drums and forks, but here there's a sliding cross clutch, similar to go-kart or old Grand Prix technology. The small cross's prongs engage the gear grooves almost instantly. Advantages: minimal range of motion, the most direct mechanical link between the rider's foot and the transmission, less inertia, and adjustment without disassembling the engine. It's one of the fastest gearboxes in its class. Titanium plus magnesium, materials that are impossible to weld together. But Gnani found a solution: hinge joints, aviation adhesives, complex shapes. The frame's main feature is its variable stiffness. It can be made stiffer or softer depending on the track, thanks to a carbon plate that acts as a torsion bar. And all this for 125 cubic centimeters. A little monster that won championships. 5 wins out of 6 in Italy, wins in Austria, wins in Alpe Adria. Proof that technology doesn't have to be huge to be great. Fun fact, in 1986, its carbon rotary valves would eat through the crankcase in 10 minutes. And then Gnani did the impossible. He bought a cheap ceramic tile, spent 3 days grinding the terracotta until he reached a thin layer of ceramic. From this layer, he made the valves. In his words, his elbows still ache from that work, but the solution turned out to be brilliant and cheap. Here are a couple of Gabriele's legendary quotes. "I built motorcycles because I couldn't afford to buy others. The tile was cheap, but 3 days of grinding was painful. My elbows still ache. My motorcycles are so fast that people want to buy them, but for me, that's like selling a child." In 30 years, he has seen countless generations of racers. They came, they won, they left, but Gabriele remained. He still builds motorcycles, still competes, still wins. Today, he makes a living consulting for foundries and engine manufacturers. His experience is priceless. But the main thing is unchanged. He assembles every motorcycle completely. Suspension, frame, engine, electronics, everything from the drawing board to the first start. And he does it not for fame, but for that moment when the engine comes to life beneath him, and the world around becomes a track where it's not the budget that wins, but the spirit. The story of Gabriele Gnani is the story of a man who never settled for what was offered to him. He created his own, even when it seemed impossible. His motorcycles, like lines of prose, are imperfect, not mass-produced, but alive and real. In a world where millions win, he proved that sometimes all it takes is one person who believes in himself and in the metal he holds in his hands. And every time the world hears the sound of an engine that has no foreign parts. It is the sound of freedom, the sound of honest work, the sound of genius not being about grand titles, but about the ability to follow your own path, even if it starts in a small garage in the hills of Romagna. And perhaps it is people like Gabriele Gnani who remind us that dreams are not just for chasing, they can be built.
Wait. Just a couple of minutes. See, there you go. I'm talking to you not with creepy AI translation. Yeah. And I got a couple of words to say you all. The fact that I can reach 20+K subs with that creepy narration AI is just incredible and fascinating for me. Thank you. And the first reason why I capturing this being pretty nervous, I'm doing this for first time really, is that I must say I had the sponsorship on this channel. So if you know how it works, if you have an opportunity to support me, I would be very thankful. And the main second reason, I'm already thankful to each of you guys for this 20k, for those views, but my English channel watching by whole world, I guess. And that whole world mostly is supporting my country for those 4 years. That is very important. Yes, I know we have a lot of problems, but also I must say that we, average people, we don't playing cards. We're just trying to survive here. After 20 minutes, I got another 7 hours without electricity. We call it blackout. After that, I will have an opportunity to do video for something like 3 hours. And that's the everyday routine. Sorry. But I still love motorcycles. From the time when my father ride a little me on a tank of his shitty 2-stroke Soviet bike, till this day I still love bikes with all my heart. And the story is like this. So, we had a lot of work to do.